All right, hello and welcome to another episode of Bad to the Ball. I am Andrew here to break down the Brewers versus Braves series. Um, so starting off with game one, we got Jacob Mizorowski versus what is this? I always forget the guy. It's Martin Perez. Yeah, it was a pitching fest for a good chunk of the game. The Brewers got on the board third inning with a Trank single with the bases loaded, but unfortunately that was all they kind of push against Perez. So bats kind of went cold, but you think with Miz on the mound, you feel pretty confident, even with only the one earned run. But you'd really like more. You don't want to put that much pressure on a guy like that. And it's like the Brewers had a lot of opportunities um throughout the game, just couldn't come up with those hits, and just he ended up coming back to bite him in the butt. And it was like it's the sixth inning where Miz kind of struggled. He was but he had a couple more walks or whatever. Only had the one, but he's given up some. What was it like? So like on the six, it was like I'll be singled over to third. Dom Smith strikes out of the foul tip, and just when you think you're about to get out of it, it's like Dubon, like very clutch swing, puts the Atlanta up 2-1, and it's just like had opportunities, man. Seventh inning, I was like Pratt gets on, Ortiz strikes out because he couldn't get the guy over. It's like stunk. That seventh inning, the Braves would also add on with a home run from Mike Yastrzemski on the first pitch, kind of ambush on Rebay. And then the eighth inning, again, you had opportunities or whatever, base loaded, Frelick up, couldn't quite get there. It was the ninth inning where you see more from team or whatever. It's like Yelich gets on with a single, then Churio double. All of a sudden, you got second, third, only one out. You're feeling pretty good about it. Type thing. And then Terang comes up with a base hit over to left field. And Yelich scores, and Churio is thrown out at home on a perfect throw from Eli White. Stinks. That sucks so much. And then, like, look, it was the send there. The send's there every time, right? Like, this is the way the Brewers play. It's that they play aggressive on the base pads. They make you make the play, and Eli White made the play. You can't be mad about that. You like the aggressiveness. It sucks when they do come up with the play or whatever, but it is what it is. I mean, you still got someone at first, and then unfortunately Contreras strikes out to end the game. So Brewers end up losing that 3-2. You really, really hate to lose Mizorowski days. But you do what you can. Type thing. The offense is just gotta better against Perez. It's another one of those moments where it's just like, man, lefties just kill us. They're back to just killing us again and again and again. And the thing is, like, we were getting on base, like we're getting hits or whatever. It's like I look here, it's like Yelich got a hit, Churio got a hit, Terang got a couple hits there, both RBIs. It's like Mitchell got a couple hits, Vaughn got a couple hits, Perkins with a hit, Pratt with a hit, Ortiz with a hit, but just like strikeouts. It's like we had a bunch of walks too. It's like Contreras walked, Churio also walked, Yelich walked. So it's like you had 4 walks in the game, just couldn't capitalize on anything. It's like we got to hit with runners in scoring position. You got to come up with that. Fact is that Terang was the only guy that came up with any hits with guys on base. It's just like, come on, guys, let's go. So that it stung. So it's like, yeah, you can say it was like, oh, we lost in the 9th inning or whatever, or the Ashby homer or whatever. Not Ashby, the Rebay giving up home run. He ambushed him on a high sinker. Was that probably not a great place for that sinker? Yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, congrats to Eli White for making that throw. That was a literal perfect throw, and that's the only way Churio's getting out there. So, because he was in there, it was a good throw. So, Brewers dropped the series opener for the first time since in their last 13 series or whatever. It's like they were 12-0 prior to the series starting. So they usually won game 1. So it was like surprising that they actually didn't win game 2 or this game. What did they say? Rafael Iglesias has like a 32, 33 game save streak going back to last year. Kind of nuts. I didn't realize that. So that's fun. Almost broke that up. So it is what it is. Moving on to game 2, we got Kyle Harrison versus Chris Sale. This is going to matchup between two very good lefties. Really, it's like it was kind of a back and forth thing. It's like it was 0-0 going for a while there. Harrison was rolling type thing. It wasn't until the bottom of the 5th when Albies hit a very cheap home run to right field. I don't know. It's just like I look at that swing every time and I sit there going, that's not a home run swing. It's just not. And like there was one hit that I think Ortiz just didn't. I don't know if it's kind of being used to getting familiar with the third base position again, or the internal clock's just not that. I don't really know who. Like it didn't end up hurting him in the end, but you really would have liked to not given up a hit there. Luckily, it didn't matter in the end. The Brewers respond right back with a Gary Sanchez sac fly. It was with the bases loaded, so I was kind of hoping we get a little bit more there instead of just tying up the game, which we did because Andrew Vaughn, I kind of forgot about this. It's like Vaughn hit a little bloop single out to center field. Brewers take a 2-1 lead. It wasn't until the 7th inning when the Brewers added another insurance run, kind of like off of a. I don't know, it's like. It was like just past Austin Riley at third base, but Riley would get a run back for the Braves in the 7th inning on a ground ball to Ortiz, who I thought could have went home, but because he wasn't in, I don't think he felt comfortable making it. And to be honest with you, I don't know. You take the for sure out there. You don't want the inning to escalate. They got a 1-run lead. So from there, it's like Uribe comes in. Uribe comes in the 7th because kind of how the matchups line up or whatever. It's like you got Uribe, McGill, and then Ashby, who's facing two lefties, and then a switch hitter. I believe he got Drake Baldwin, and then Olsen singled, and then Ozzy Albies with another just absolute cheap-ass home run. It only threw 339 feet to right field as he hits two opposite field homers, and the Braves walk it off. God, that infuriated me to no end. I cannot stress enough how much just watching that, I'm just like, come on, man. Are you joking me with that? Like, that's not, those two swings are not home run hitters ever. Like, home run swings, like, only in a very few ballparks. It was like, especially that last one. It's like, my brother looked it up or whatever and said he was like, oh, the first one was like a home run in 18 ballparks and stuff like that. But that just goes off a distance. I'm like, that thing caught like, I don't know, like some wind or something like that. How high it flew. It's like, the fact is, it's like exit velocity was on the first one. I think it was like 97 or something like that. But he had so much launch angle to it that it's like you would that's an easy fly ball. And then the last one is just like, that one really stunk. It's like, really? Kind of like 339 feet? Like, that's a home run in like 1-2 ballpark. I don't know. I didn't look that one up. I was just like, whatever. I think this is another game, though, that was just like the offense just needed to come up with more clutch hits. Like, there was just not a lot. Like, yeah, 2 for 8 with 6 on, 6 left on or whatever. And it's like, Harrison was pitching another gem, and again, we lost another game with one of our best pitchers on the mound. Not like we can't be doing that. Can't be doing that, especially when we were locked in position for it and everything like that, and couldn't do it. Just can't do that. So, I understand the thought process that Murph had with like, oh, we brought in Uribe to finish off the 7th inning for Harrison. And then McGill comes in the 9th because you got like the bottom of the order, bunch of righties. Makes more sense. And then have Ashby come in for the face Baldwin, who's a lefty, Olsen, who's a lefty, and then Albies, which is a switch hitter. I get it. I'd much rather have McGill for the 9th. I think it's mainly because he was looking at the lineup going like, oh, there's a bunch of lefties. Ashby's tough on lefties. I trust him type thing. And I'm like, yeah, I do trust him and stuff like that. And realistically, they shouldn't have been a walk-off home run. But I don't know. It's just part of me just would rather have seen Miguel in there. But I get it. I get it. I think it would be a different situation had we had like, I don't know, Zerpa or Hall or something like that. I don't know if he was available. It's like maybe it's a little bit of lack of lefties in the bullpen right now. Maybe not so much. Maybe it was just like that he just saw the lefties in there and just like, oh yeah, we're not going to give it to Miguel. We're going to give it to Ashby because lefty-righty matchups. I'm not the one being paid the big bucks. In essence, should that have worked out? Probably. Part of me still really wanted Miguel in there, but flush this game. This game was stupid. Like literally, Albies did everything that day, and it was just like, it infuriated me to no end that he hit 2 very cheap home runs to right field. So it's just like, yeah, it sucks because then you lose the series because of that. You really were hoping not to lose the series. So we're gonna end up facing the Braves again. Hopefully, we can take, hopefully we can either sweep the series. They're coming to AmFam Field, so at that point, I'm not sure when that's supposed to be, but sometime. Overall, game 3 was we got Robert Gasser versus Bryce Elder. Got the Gas Man on the bump today, and Gasser's been pitching very good as of late. He lets up an early run from in the first inning. Albies with a sac fly out to Frelick and right. Surprised I didn't make it out of there. I actually didn't get a chance to really watch this game. I was too busy. So, at the time, but I did kind of watch like the little recap thing that they kind of do or whatever. Second inning was when the Brewers exploded for 8 runs out of just felt like nowhere. It's like Frelick with a double, Hamilton with a double, Churio singled, scored Yelich, like Terang singled. It was just a bunch of hitting, and then ended off the inning with a William Contreras home run to left field, and he absolutely smashed that ball. The 8th inning where it was all of a sudden it was 8-1, and I'm like, all right, we're feeling good about it type thing. Gasser was really working the mound. He pitched in 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. I think that's a very good quality start from Gasser. I'm very excited to see that. The way it sounds is that he's feeling more confident and stuff like that. And so you sit here going just like, you take him out of this rotation? I don't know. Like if he's pitching like he is now, I kind of don't wanna. But at the same point, it's like we're supposed to, I think Woodruff's coming back here for this Red Series type thing, and then eventually we're gonna get Henderson back, and it's like when you look at the rotation, it's like you go Miz, Harrison, Woodruff, Henderson, like Sproat or Gasser or Drowan or Patrick, or I don't know. Like you have so much starting pitching then that you're just like, all right. What do we do now? So I have a feeling the Drohan's probably just going to go back to the bullpen when that happens. No lefty kind of in the bullpen for Murph to work with. I think it's kind of where he likes Drohan too, along with like Patrick. Sproat's an interesting one because he definitely could be put into the bullpen in place of for Gasser. It really comes down to who's that 5th slot right now. It's like, is it Sproat? Is it Gasser? Is it Drowan or whatever? I'm not sure. It might just be kind of like a fight for that 5th spot or whatever. I don't really want to see the Brewers go a 6-man rotation. I feel like they'll move to a 6-man rotation on occasion when the matchups kind of line up or whatever. From what it sounds like is that Miz's next start will come against the Cubs this weekend, which is where I would want him anyway. So they're probably going to push him back just like by a day, if I had to guess, because that's usually what happens. So on and so forth. Before I talk about the next series, though, I do want to talk about it's like one I talked about out in Gasser. It's like Gasser and Patrick finished off this game. had a big enough lead. You felt pretty confident that Gasser could get you 3 innings, and he did. Gave up a home run to Rowdy Tellez, which was like, oh, this guy's kind of neat. It was like Tellez's first home run. Luckily, that didn't hurt us, but I'm like, you know what? So you know what, Tellez? We love you, Rowdy. We love you, Rowdy. You can have the one. You can hit your first home run of the year off of Patrick, and it won't really hurt us in the end. So, yeah, it's like Gasser Patrick. That I want to talk about actually Frelick in this series because he is I was like looking at last game, he had 2 hits, 2 RBIs with a double. Came in pinched hit for Vaughn in game 2. Don't particularly love that. Mainly because I would much rather see Vaughn kind of hit. I don't know why. I get his righty-lefty splits, but I don't know. It's not like he can't hit righties. We saw last year. And again, Frelick pinch hit again for Pratt. Another one of those scenarios where I would have loved to see Pratt with the bases loaded. Just to see, throw the trial by fire, right? But I do want to talk about Frelick's batting average and OPS have gone up, a decent amount or whatever. It's like Frelick was sub 500 for OPS, or sub 600, not sub 500, sub 600 for OPS. He's at 620. It's still not great. Was 231 batting average. It was as low as like 179 at one point. So he is hitting the ball a little bit better and a little bit more. He's finding more grass. So I don't want to just completely like trash on it. He's like, yeah, he's 235 batting average with those last 2 hits in that in Sunday's game with a 627 OPS. It's still not great numbers. He's been a little bit better as of recent. I don't think it's warranted enough to give him back the right field spot entirely because of the way that like I want to see Vaughn in there more often. I'm not sure why Murph just doesn't want to play Vaughn, more consistently. I know his defense isn't the greatest at first base, but it's gotten better. And it's like, well, he doesn't really hit righties, and I'm like, I'd much rather have Bowers in there to face righties and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, I agree, but at the same point, I'm sitting here going, Bowers can also play right field. So I don't know. Also, it's just like Murph's just leaving Mitchell in there to face lefties, and I'm like, why would you not? I don't know. It's like I know Frelick hasn't been hitting lefties really at all. That's why he's not getting starts out in right field when lefties are on the mound. Like you put Bowers in right, and you put Vaughn in there at first. That's fine. Like lastly, I think it was like I don't know. It's just like it's just whatever. Game 2 having Sanchez, just because it's Chris Sale on the mound, you want to have as few lefties in there as possible. I feel like Mitchell was put in a bad situation. He knew it, and so he's just like, I'm going to just do my best, Murph. I'm going to do my best. And, yeah, there was some not less than lackluster swings against Sale, but he's a tough one to face, especially as a lefty. I understand that. I think we all understand how difficult that can be at times. So, Trang, I was like Trang was like, what was it? Like Trang and Mitchell were the only lefties in that lineup or whatever. It's like there was no Yelich. Sanchez was DHing. So overall, not the greatest Brave series. This is kind of like not worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is you got swept. I don't want to say I'm okay with this result because I obviously am not, but overall, it could have been worse, so we'll take it as we go type thing. You're not that far back of the Braves or whatever. You're still you're technically like a 2.5 game. They have a 2.5 game lead over you because the Brewers are 46 and 29, and the Braves are 48 and 28. So, it's like you can sit here just going like, yeah, it sucked or whatever, but it's still early in the season. Like we're not even at the halfway point right now. It's like, yes, we're worried about getting that second. We want to be like at least the second best division winner, so that way we can avoid the wild card. Yeah, of course. But at the same point, I don't want to sit here and worry too much about that when we still have so much of the season left to do and still have to play. So hopefully when we see the Braves later in the season, we can just sweep them, and then we have the tiebreaker, and we've also gained a bunch of games on them, because I don't anticipate them losing first place of the West. If I'm looking at the standings, I'm like, they are firmly in the lead. Yeah, 6.5 game favorites over the Phillies. So, and looking at it, it's like Dodgers are 49-29. Like, we're not that far behind. Like, we're 3 games back of the Dodgers. We're 2 games back of the Braves. So, it's like if the Dodgers have 3 more wins than us, basically. Dodgers have played 3 more games than us. And I guess that the rain out matters, and I guess all the days off. Whatever. Overall, it's like you still got a 5-game lead over St. Louis, so you felt okay with that and stuff like that. Just win the day, move on to facing the Reds. So game 1 against the Reds will be Brady Singer versus to be determined. I have a feeling it's probably going to be Woodruff, because it sounds like he's going to be making Big Woo's making his reappearance back in the majors. It sounded like he was going to be pitching against the Reds, the way they made it sound. I just don't think they've made the announcement. I am filming this at like 9:30 on Monday, so I guess at some point there will be an announcement of who is pitching. Day, but my guess is probably Brandon Woodruff, because then that kind of pushes out the spot. I think it would normally be Sprout here, but we're trying to extend it a little bit more. That game 2 will be Nick Lodolo versus Brandon Sprout. So then again, Sprout being pushed an extra day as a result about that. So I'm hoping that Sprout cannot have a rough 4th inning, and maybe it was the cramping issue, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It's kind of like a thing we keep seeing from Sprout, is that he has first time through the lineup, it feels like he's cruising, he's dominant, and then the second time through, just can't figure it out, man. And I'm like, I don't know why that is or anything like that. It just is. So hopefully that will not be the case for game 2. Hopefully Sprout can give us at least 5 solid innings. So I know the Reds have kind of been struggling a little bit. In division rivals, obviously, you always want to play well against them, even if they are technically in last place at the moment. With the way that the standings are right now, it's like yes, they're like 9.5 games back. Still don't put it past them that they're not completely out of it. I think, and the Reds are obviously pushing for a wild card spot at the moment. So. Game 3, it will be Shane Drowan versus this Rhett Lauder. I have no idea who this is, and I'm curious because I was like, so he hasn't pitched since 2024. Interesting. With the Reds, made 6 starts. He was really good with a 9.17 ERA, so he must have got hurt or something. Maybe I could see it. He's like 11 starts. Got a 4.82 ERA. Nothing crazy about that. The thing I always want to point out is that it is 2 righties and a lefty. So Singer's the righty, Lodolo is the lefty, and then Lauder is a righty as well. So luckily we're not facing 2 lefties, because it seems like the Brewers are back to kind of struggling against lefties. So hoping that'll kind of change soonish. I mean, yeah, it's just like we're at Reds. Yelich always plays well against the Reds, so I'm hoping that we'll have a good series. I feel like the Reds always they're just like, all right, Christian Yelich is gonna hit a goddamn cycle against us, because I think he has just 3 cycles in his career basically, and they're all against the Reds. So it's always a funny thing to bring up. So we'll see how this series gone. I know the Reds have kind of been a little disappointed in their season, mainly because I think a lot of their pitching, and I'm noticing as well, we're missing Talbot, I believe, is their big pitcher. No, it's Chase Burns. Yeah, Burns is their big pitcher for this year. We're missing him, so that's huge. Because he has like a sub 2 ERA or something like that. Like people talk about it, I was like, oh, this guy should be in a greater conversation for Cy Young, and I kind of agree. But overall, it's like I think that the front runners are Miz and Christopher Sanchez for good reasons. Like they've been dominant. So Frelick has actually really good numbers against Lodolo. So that's finally a lot of guys have really good numbers against Lodolo and very few at bats, but it's kind of funny. They not have Yelich has bad one. Whatever. So I don't know. It's like you sit here looking at the Brewers going like, yeah, Brave series didn't work out as well as we had hoped. We were in position to winning, game 2. Fortunately lost it due to a very cheap home run. Game 3, we had that offensive explosion in the second inning, but didn't do a whole lot past that. Like he scored 1 run on a pass ball in like the 7th inning or something like that. So not great. It's kind of what I was what people talk about is like you can only live on the ground so much, and I feel like the Brewers just ground so many balls. It's like, yeah, sometimes they're gonna find holes, but in clutch situations, they're probably gonna find a player's glove, and it might end up turning into double play. I don't know. Overall, it's like we're fine. Brewers are still sitting in a good spot. I have every confidence that they're going to do just fine. And then after the Reds, I know it's the Cubs series, which I believe is where they said Mizrowski will be pitching. Game 1. It's like looking at Friday's probable starters: Mizrowski, Harrison, and then obviously determined. So, but it's already looking like they're definitely want. It's like we want because we it's like I know the Cardinals are technically in second place. The Cubs are a greater threat, and I think the Brewers understand that. The Cardinals are playing out of their minds right now, but I think that at some point it's either going to fall apart or they're going to start losing more games than they're winning. And the Cubs will end up taking over second place in the division, so they're going to be fighting for the Brewers. So obviously the Brewers are going to just want to push them down and keep as many leads as possible. And luckily this weekend's series is actually in AmFam Field, so we're going to be doing it at home. We'll be doing it at Wrigley, so great. So looking forward to this Red series though. Just got to take 2 out of 3. Take all 3 if you can. But yeah, I mean, just the main thing that you need to worry about if you're the Brewers right now is like don't worry necessarily who's on the mound or whatever type thing. It's like you just need offense. We're not going to rely on our pitching. Yes, we're going to lean on our pitching to keep us in games and keep the leads and stuff like that. But our offense needs to produce or whatever. Like we lead. I don't know if it's still true. I guess I could look it up, but like we were the leader in runs scored in all of major leagues. Yet we hit like the second lowest home runs in baseball. It's like we're scoring runs without hitting the long ball or whatever type thing, and that's the Brewers' way of doing it. So just need to stick to that and stuff like that, and it means getting a little bit more lift on the ball. Not relying on necessarily Churio and Yelich to kind of do it all type thing. It's like we need these other guys to kind of pick it up. We need it to happen, and for a good chunk of the season, that's been the case. So it's like you just can't be undaunted. You can't sit there going just like lefty righty doesn't really matter type thing. And so we just need to come up with hits, keep the baton passing or whatever. Just take away what that second inning was on the last game and just do it all type thing. I'm not saying you're going to score, a run or a few runs every inning or whatever type thing. But it's like when guys are on, we need to get them. We need to get them over, or at least threaten it. We need to get the guys on base and threaten to score, because that's when pitchers make mistakes. Be a bit more aggressive at the plate. I don't know. Like that game 2 against Sale, it's like, man, we let him carve us up. I don't know. That's just how I looked at it. It was just like, oh, I mean, I guess you could say the Braves are doing the same thing with Harrison, but I don't know. I get hitting's hard, but it's like, man, I don't know. Be a bit more aggressive. Sometimes I think that whereas it's like sometimes I think that with Durang, it's like when you know guys aren't going to swing at the first pitch, some guys are just going to lay it in there type thing, stuff like that. And it's like Durang goes from swinging at the first pitch to sometimes just full taking it a lot of the times, and I'm just going like, I don't know. It's like if you're really having that trouble reading the ball, sure, take the first pitch, but I don't know. Like sometimes you got to be up there, be ready to hit. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know, bitching. I guess. I don't know. Watching as a fan, going just like it's a ball straight down the middle. Come on, swing, guys. It's not that easy sometimes, you know. Gotta remember that and put that into perspective at times. So anyway, that's the the Red Series. So I'm hoping that we can take 2 out of 3. If, always see if we can take 3. But I don't know. The fact is we're missing Chase Burns. Is huge. Abbott, I think, has also been pretty good for them, but I think we're missing their 2 biggest pitchers. We're facing their bottom 3 of their rotation, all who have like 5 ERAs. Okay, Louder's got a 4.89, so we're facing guys that are giving up a lot of hits and a lot of runs. So let's take advantage of that. Let's take advantage of that. So, pretty much all I have to say. So thank y'all so much for watching this episode. I will be back on probably Thursday, but I don't know. Lately, I've been a little busy at the time at the nights I normally record these, and I'm having to record them the next day after. So it'll either be Thursday or Friday. Most likely, I'm going to try and get out Thursday. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to on Fridays. So getting ready for that Cubs series afterwards. But first, we got to deal with the Reds. Let's go get them Reds. Or a bunch of runs and hopefully hits with some runners in scoring position. Feel really confident about ourselves going into this Cubs series. So, till then, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of like breakdown or whatever type thing. And I will see you all next time. Bye bye.